Assalamualaikum everyone. In today's lecture, we will discuss database system development lifecycle in detail. In our previous lecture, we have discussed the classification of database management system based on different criteria. First, we have single and multi-user databases based on the criteria of number of users. Then we discussed centralized and distributed databases based on the criteria of database distribution. After that, we discussed homogeneous and heterogeneous databases, that is further classification of distributed databases. In today's lecture, we will discuss all the stages in database system development life cycle. So with the replacement of file-based system, the database has become a major component in organization's information system. And with the realization of data being important, the organizations have started to treat data with care. They have established the separate departments for data administration and database administration. So database being a major part of organization's information system, it must be viewed from broader perspective. So we have database system development life cycle, which is inherited from information system development life cycle. These are the stages involved in database system development life cycle. First, we have database planning, then we have system definition. After that, we go towards the requirement collection. Then we move forward towards the database design, which includes conceptual database, logical database, physical database. And then at this point, we can also select DBMS. The application design runs in parallel. After that, we can do prototyping. This is an optional step, or we can go directly towards the implementation. Then data conversion and loading in case of shifting the system. Then we test the system, and after that, operational maintenance. So these steps are not required to follow sequentially, but they can be looped back to the previous stage. Like here, if we find some problem in prototyping, we can go back to the requirement stage. We will be discussing each stage in detail. So these are all the stages that have been explained in the previous diagram. So let's start with each stage. First, we have database planning, which is also called as mission statement. Mission statement defines major aim of the database application and helps clarify its purpose. So in database planning, you actually identify the plans and goals of the enterprise. Or if the system is already present, you evaluate the previous system, that what are the shortcomings of this system, what are the strengths of these systems. So mission statement actually defines the aim of the database, that what is the purpose of your database system. So database planning helps in providing efficient and effective creation of database, because here we define the standards, how data will be collected, which format will be specified, what documentation will be needed. So database planning is a very important step in database development life cycle. For example, the purpose of our HW database system is to maintain the data that is used to support hotel room rentals. So actually this is the mission statement. This is the purpose of your database, and based on this purpose, you are going to develop your database. Next, we have mission objectives. Once mission statement is defined, mission objectives are defined, which should identify a particular task that the database must support. So after defining the mission statement, we will identify the mission objectives. Actually, each mission objective defines the particular task that the database must support. For example, to maintain insert, update, delete data on the hotels, rooms, guests and bookings. So this is the particular task that our database must support. This is the particular task of some database, that it should insert, update, delete data on the hotels, rooms, guests and bookings. So actually in mission objective, you identify different tasks that your database will going to perform. Next we have system definition. It describes scope and the boundaries of database system and the major user views. So at this stage, the developers should identify the boundaries of the system, and within those boundaries they should identify the major user views. User views defines what is required of a database system from the perspective of a particular job role, such as manager or supervisor, or enterprise application area such as marketing, personnel. So identifying user view is an important part of database development life cycle. It should make sure that no users are being forgotten. User view actually define what is required of database systems in terms of data to be held and transaction to be performed. In short, it means that what the users will do with the data. This is the user view. So at system definition, we must consider all the major user views. User views can be any user that is present in that organization, such as managers or supervisors or workers, or it can be any specific area like marketing area or personnel. So all these are different users, and we must consider the user view from all the major users of that organization. This is the representation of a database system with multiple user views. So here you can see that we have 6 different users and they have their different user view. Some of the user views are overlapping. Like here you can see user 6 and user view 5, they have some overlapping area. Similarly, user 1 and user 2 has overlapping area. User view 4 is distinct. It doesn't overlap with any other user. So for example, we can say that user 5 is the examination department and user 6 is the student. So student wants to use database for different purposes, and one of them is to check the result, to check their semester result. And similarly, examination department will use database for different purposes, and one of them will be to actually calculate the result and to retrieve the result so that they can provide some hard copies of your result. So both users have some common view here and it is overlapping. Here we can consider that this is the view for accounts. They want to use the database for all the account information for fees and pays of employees. So like this, we must consider all the major user views in system definition. Next stage after system definition is requirements collection and analysis. So get user requirements, collect and analyze information about the part of the organization to be supported by the database system. So in requirement collection, we actually collect information from that part of the organization which will be using database. So the major source of information requirement is the user views. We can collect information from the user views. These requirements for the new database systems are described in the document known as requirement specification. So at this stage, we need to develop a system requirement specification document, which we called as SRS document. And in that document, we describe all the requirements that are needed to develop the database system. And if the system is already present, we can identify the additional requirement for the new database system. Next stage is database design. So in database design stage, we create a design for the database that will support the mission statement and mission objectives. So during the planning phase, when we define the mission statement and the mission objectives, which are actually different purposes that we are going to achieve from our database, we create a design of our database based on that mission statement and mission objectives. Data modeling actually is being done in the database design phase. Building data model requires answering questions about entities, relationships, and attributes. So database design is divided into 3 further stages. First, we define the conceptual database design, then we define the logical database design, and after that we define the physical database design. So in conceptual database design, it is actually a process of constructing a model of the data used independent of all physical considerations. Conceptual data model is built using the information in user requirement specification, and example is here is ER diagram. So at this level, we actually design a conceptual structure of our database, and it is based on the SRS document, the requirements that we have collected and written in our SRS document. At this stage, we don't worry about any physical consideration of database. This is just a conceptual view of your database. Then next is the logical database design. Conceptual data model is independent of all physical considerations. A logical model is derived knowing the underlying data model of the target DBMS. For example, relational data model and normalization. So at the conceptual database design, we actually gives a conceptual structure of our system without considering the physical requirements or the DBMS. But at the logical database design, we normally have the information about the underlying DBMS use. That DBMS is based on which data model. Either it is a relational or it is a network model. So we have this information at the logical database design, and we actually refine the conceptual model and map it into logical database design, considering the underlying DBMS information that we have. So here we only have information about the data model of the DBMS, but still we don't consider the storage requirements of database system. So you identify the entities, the relationship between the entities, the attributes of entities, and then you apply normalization technique by which you can check that the relationships you have developed does not display redundancy. This logical database design is actually a source of information for the next phase. So next phase is physical database design. So at this stage, you actually design your database with all the physical implementations. Like here you are creating tables, you are applying constraints on the tables, and this information you have collected from the logical data model. So the physical design of the database specifies a description of the physical configuration of database such as tables, file organizations, indexes, security, data types, and other parameters in the data dictionary. To describe how we intend to physically implement the logical database design. So here you consider all the storage considerations and how you are going to physically implement the logical database design. Next we have DBMS selection. So we know that database management system, which is a software used to interact with the database, is a very important part of database system. So selection of an appropriate DBMS to support the database system, if none exist, if you are designing a new database, undertaken at any time prior to logical design, provided sufficient information is available regarding the system requirements. So we can consider it even before the logical design, providing that we have enough information regarding the system. Check of DBMS features against requirements. Okay, so here we actually study the requirements of that organization, the requirements of the data of that organizations for which the database is being developed. Then we shortlist few DBMS, like we have 2 or 3 options, and this shortlist is actually based on different factors like the compatibility of DBMS with other softwares, the hardware that is available in that organization if DBMS can actually run on that hardware, then the budget limitation of the organization. So we consider all these factors and we shortlist database management systems, and then we evaluate those. So for evaluation we have different criteria, like for data definition we must check all these evaluation criteria. For physical definition we have this criteria like indexing, it should provide indexing, it should provide data compression, encryption routines, memory requirements. Then accessibility, it should provide with sequential languages, security. Then in transaction handling it should provide all these facilities. So we have actually a complete table of evaluation criteria that we must evaluate DBMS on. So after evaluation we actually select a DBMS that is the most suitable and that fulfills all the requirement of database. Some examples are MySQL, Microsoft Access, SQL Server, Oracle. These are all actually relational database management systems. Next phase is application design, which is actually design of user interface and application programs that use and process the database. Database design and application design are parallel activities. So we have seen in the diagram before that the database design process and application design process both run in parallel. So while application designing, we must consider few factors like it should be user friendly because end user is going to use the application, and the data flows between the application program and the database. So the application should be easy to learn, easy to use, it should be user friendly, there must be some proper title, then there should be appropriate use of colors, highlighters, there should be enough space for the text fields. So all these factors must be considered at this stage. We should design an appropriate application that will be connected with the database. Next stage is prototyping, which is actually optional. So prototyping is a building working model of a database system. So actually it is a working model, but it does not contain all the required fields. Its purpose is to actually identify features of the system that are inadequate, to suggest improvements or new features, to clarify the user's requirement, to evaluate feasibility of a particular system design. So before going towards the implementation, you can have the prototyping stage in which you actually run your database system. It is a working model. It does not include all the features, but most of the features on the basis of which you can identify if there is a need of improvements, if you need to add some new features, or it helps to clarify the user requirements. So after prototyping, there will be implementation of your database. This is the physical realization of database and application designs. Here we actually use data definition language, which comes with DBMS, and we use to create the database schemas, the database files. We use DDL to create any specified user views. So here we actually implement the database and we create our database. This stage, data conversion and loading, it only required when you are transferring an existing data to a new database and converting any existing applications to run on a new database. So it is only required when new database system is replacing an old database system. DBMS normally has utility that loads existing files into new database. So if there is an organization, there can be many factors that organization wants to shift its database from one system to another system. It may become bigger in size, or it may want improve in performance, or whatever the reason can be. So if there is a need to shift database from one system to another, so we need data conversion and loading. Most DBMS provide utility, or you can say that provide the functionality that can load existing data files. So you don't need to enter all the records by yourself. You can import the existing files that were present in your old database. May be possible to convert and use application programs from old system for use by new system. So it is possible that we use the existing application programs that were made to use the old system, modify and use it with our new system as well. Then we have a testing phase. So this phase is very important because before going live with your database system, we should test the whole system. So by testing, it actually gives us the ideas about the faults in our database system. It is a process of running the database system with the intent of finding errors. Use carefully planned test strategies and realistic data. It demonstrates that database and application programs appear to be working according to the requirements. So at this stage, we actually test our whole system if there are some faults, if the system is working according to the requirement of the organization, if there is a need of improvement. So all these factors we check at the testing phase before going live. So because it is not good that once you implemented your database and it goes live, and when the users actually use database and they find errors and problems in using your system, so it's better to test the system before giving it to users. Then we have operational maintenance. It is a process of monitoring and maintaining database system following installation. So once you have designed your database, you have implemented your database, you have installed your complete database, there is a need of operational maintenance. Like if the performance falls, it may require tuning or reorganization of the database. So you actually check the performance of the running database, and if there is a problem, you may need to follow some steps. Maintaining and upgrading database system if required, incorporating new requirements into the database application. So if there is a need to implement some new functionality to your system, you can incorporate it with the database application.